Hmm. So, as we have been discussing about the very important section of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Kapil Shiksha. So last time I was sharing like how Kapil Shiksha is as equal to the Shiksha of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. That's what I think I shared with you, right? So because it has Raga Anuga Bhakti also, right? So as we do every day, so this is one of the most important chapters of the entire Kapil Shiksha. So as we do every time, glory of Bhagavatam and then some reflections quick, and then we begin this chapter, which is most essential. So from this very chapter, there is glory of Bhagavatam, where the pure unalloyed devotional service is defined. And Bhagavatam is for this purpose and nothing else. Because Bhagavatam says that Nigama Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirma Saranam Satam. So the all kinds of cheating religion are thrown off from this Purana. So what is the pure devotion? That is defined in this very chapter which we are discussing. So very beautiful verse. Madgunashyate matrena mui sarvaguhashay manogatirravichinna yatha gangambha samdadho lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirganasya yadaratam ahetukiyabhyavahita ya bhakti purushottame. Yeah, someone can read translation. Maybe it's Shubha Lakshmi can read translation.
The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So this is the goal. This is what is defined as pure analog devotional service. As Prabhupada says, not just pure devotion, pure analog devotional service. So there can be some attraction in our heart about name, form, qualities. But here what is there? Shruti Matrena, little bit of hearing the holy name, little bit of hearing the pastimes of Lord, qualities of Lord specifically here. But Guna Shruti Matrena, only by one's mind is at once attracted that it goes, his heart goes into that and it flows like a Ganges water. So, and this is ahaituki avyavahita, uninterrupted and unmotivated by any other motivation. So that is what is the unalloyed devotion, which is nirgun, completely beyond three modes of materialism. So Srimad Bhagavatam, why it is glorious? Because such devotees pastimes, their interactions, their responses, their choices, their association, their aspirations are repetitively explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Like you can see, Dhruva Maharaj is praying. Temmoho pravahatam tvaime sango yadananta bhatam amalashayana. My dear Lord, in front of Lord, he is asking what his aspiration is. Give me association of Amalatmanam, pure-hearted devotees, in whose heart bhakti is flowing. Right? In whom Prabhahatam, Prakriti Rupe, it is completely flowing, free flow of bhakti. So I want their association. Same thing, Srila Prathu Maharaj is saying. Uttama Shloka Mahan Pachyuto Avat Padam Bhoja Sudhakananila. So he is saying that give me association of these people whose in whose heart Lord's the dust of the lotus feet of Lord is so much filled and they are so much happy that it comes out from their mouth in form of Harikatha, Harinam. So that flow, let me get thousands and millions of years to get that drop of the dust feet particles of Krishna from such devotees. So that is what is Bhagavatam is about. So the aspirations of devotee is to associate with such devotees. So that is what is defined in this chapter. And whatever description you have seen till now, and in this chapter as well, is aimed at this. This is the goal. This is our compass. So you can see here, Kamasandharva is saying, Atha yasya eva utkarsha jnanartham ete bhakti bheda nirupatah sa bhakti matra kamatvam nishkama nirguna kevala swarupa siddha nirupyate. So till now, whatever description was given of Mishra Bhakti, different kinds of Bhakti, Bhakti in different modes, this is all told to actually tell what is beyond all these things, what is to be reached by practice of this Bhakti. So this is the goal of Bhagavatam, and this is the sadhana also, aspiring. Right? So that is what is we are fortunate to discuss. And Bhagavatam awards association of such devotees by describing them, by discussing about them. So that is about the glory of Bhagavatam. Yes, so some reflections someone wants to say from previous discussion, quick reflections. Is it audible? What I'm saying? It's not clear.
Yes, it is audible.
Fine. Yes, Shiva Lakshmi Mataji, as usual, you always. Yes, please go ahead.
was described how the yogi prepares himself and meditates on different limbs of the Lord, starting from the lotus feet. And about lotus feet, it is described that Lord Shiva becomes, who is already auspicious, becomes more auspicious because he holds the Ganges on his head, which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord. And to destroy mountains of things, the only way is to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time.
Yeah, thank you. So you reflected on some prayer, some meditations of dhyana of different limbs of the Lord. Yes, that is applicable for even devotees also. Yes. Yeah. Anyone else want to say anything that we discussed last time? Fine. So we'll go further. So 29th chapter, the explanation of devotional service by Lord Kapil. So if you see the titles of the chapter, again devotional service has come. Earlier 25th chapter was also, what was the title of 25th chapter? The glories of devotional service, right? And then there was other two chapters, other three chapters. And then again now, what is the title now? Explanation of devotional service. So what is the difference? Let us try to understand. In essence, the 25th chapter, which was very important seed chapter, was telling the excellence, the prayojan of our guru. The prayojan tattva was told very nicely. What is the goal? And now the abhidheya is explanation. So let us see how. So this is the karika for this chapter by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. एकोत्रविंशके भक्तिः सगुणा निर्गुणापि नामपि लक्ष्यते प्राणिसम्मान क्रमः काल बलं च तत्. So what is meaning of this? Ekottravimshi. So in this 29th chapter, Bhakti saguna nirguna api cha. So how this Bhakti is with modes and beyond three modes. They are explained. What more is explained? Lakshate prani sanmana kramaha. So we hear the song, we should offer respect to all, but yatha yatha, as it behooves. We don't offer equal respect to everyone, including the animals. But there is Sanman Kram is there. We offer respect according to what it behoves. That, that is what is told by Kapil Dev. And Kala Balam Chatat, and the influence of time, the power of the time factor. Right? So that is what is the content of this chapter. The breakup of this chapter is like this. The first six verses are further questions of Devahuti, which will actually answer this chapter as well as the 30, 31, 32, 33. So all the rest of the chapters are the answer to Devahuti's further question. So till now, what was answered was Devahuti's questions in 25th chapter. She asked, right? So now Devati is further asking. So first six verses. And then the very important section of 7 to 20 verses. This Kapila is describing various types of bhakti based on swabhava and the modes of practice. So this is the bhakti in mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So you have heard about 81 types of bhakti, right? So you'll understand today what is pure bhakti. So unless we understand what is not pure bhakti, we can't necessarily practice what is pure bhakti. So we can very clearly understand. And 21 to 27 is the offense is the only obstacle in bhakti. And how it manifests? You start disrespect within, disregard in vision and interaction, hatred in emotion, and then criticize in the words. So that's the progressive offense, which is the greatest cancer in bhakti. The only obstacle is this. And what is the solution? Dana, mana, maitri. That is the solution. While you worship the deity. That is the simple solution given by Kapil Dev for offense, removing the offensive mentality. Then 28 to 34 is the Sanmana Krama, Prani Sanmana Krama, respecting all jivas in gradation, not equal, like Jnani. And then the influence of time, Kala Balam, 35 to 45. So these two sections are extremely important. Right? So this one and this one, the prescription and prohibition. Right? What is to be done and what is to be avoided. Very clearly, succinctly told in Srimad Bhagavatam in this chapter. So I very much remember once in our Brahmachari class or BVP forums, Radhesham Prabhu had taken this chapter and right and outset I have written in my notes here. He said that, you know, after sincerely reading from heart this chapter, one would not like to offend any other devotee nor any living entity. But will become very careful. Like that Prabhu said. And he said that this chapter is very enlightening and frightening also. Hmm. Frightening means what? We will understand the consequences of our inappropriate practices and motivation. So this chapter simultaneously is enlightening and frightening, like that he was saying. So it's a very, very important chapter for sadhakas. So let us try to understand what is meaning of true sadhaka. As I think today Maharaj came from the Bhakti Padma Saura Pracharak Swami Maharaj. So he was telling me once many years back that there are very few sadhakas in Islam. Or so Gaurangpu was saying earlier once that earlier ISKCON was Bhagavad Gita 18.66. That is pure devotional service, Sharanagati. But now it is entire Bhagavad Gita. In short, there is all practices of all different kinds. So let us try to understand what is this chapter. Very important chapter. Praying to Devahuti and Kapila, we'll try to understand this chapter. So what is the link of this chapter in the previous chapter that is told in the beginning? Sankham Yogam Cha Shutva. So she heard in 26th chapter and 27 and 28 chapters. She heard Dhyana Yoga or Dhyana Mishra Bhakti and Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Shankham cha Yogam cha Shrutva in 26, 27, 28 chapters. Punar Uktanuvada Purvakam Swa Anushteyatvat Shritamapi Bhakti Yogam Saprabedam Shushrushramana Prachyati. So, Devahuti is very eager to hear about different types of bhakti. Although she has heard about bhakti in chapter 25, Shrutamap earlier, but now she is asking for the sake of execution. So one thing is to inquire for sake of knowing, and another thing is to inquire for sake of practicing. As we know, there is to know, to do, and to be. So, Swa Anushtitva. So, she wants to do Anushtan. So, she is asking what are different types, Pravedam. So, she is asking this question. So, you can see that having heard about Sankhya and Yoga, Devahuti again desires about Bhakti, which in different types, since she should perform that process, though she has already heard of it. So, she has heard in 25th chapter, now she is asking for sake of she wants to perform it actually. Right? So that is the uh, influence of hearing the glories of excellence of pure bhakti. That okay, how I can practice it. Hmm? So that is what is told. So let us begin with her questions. Beautiful questions which give pleasure to Kapila. So देवहुतिरुवाच लक्षणं महदादीनां प्रकृतेः पुरुषस्य च स्वरूपं लक्ष्यते मीशां येन तत्परमार्थिकं यथा साङ्ख्येषु कथितं यन्मूलं तत्प्रचक्षति भक्तियोगस्य मे मार्गं ब्रूहि विस्तरशः प्रभो. Yeah, someone can read now. Suryakan Krishna Prabhu, you can read. Or
Yes, Prabhu, I will read. Translation. Dehuti inquired, my dear Lord, you have already very scientifically described the symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems.
yeah. So she is not only requesting or inquiring, but she is exhibiting her faith on bhakti also here. Hmm. So yes, my dear Lord, you have very nicely Lakshanam Mahadadinam. So you have nicely explained the characteristics of different 24 elements so that we can differentiate what is Prakriti, what is Purusha. Hmm. Their Swarupas you have explained very nicely. Hmm. Right? So, but what is the goal of all this karma and jnana and yoga? Sat paramarthikam. So that is bhakti only. So now yan moolam, that is the root of that. All other paths should culminate in bhakti. So she is exhibiting her faith. Having said that and having summarized what she has heard, now she is asking, now, my dear Lord, bhakti yogasya me margam bruhi vistarashaha. Hey Prabhu, Bruhi, please describe what Bhakti Margam Vistarasha. Bhakti Yogasya Margam. Margam means different kinds of Bhakti Yoga, different types of different paths of Bhakti Yoga. So that is what she is asking. So she is exhibiting her faith, exhibiting her understanding of what she has heard about, and now she wants to practice it. So she is asking different types. So that is the verse. So Srila Prabhupada also indicates. So as I told you, that the 25th chapter, we nicely heard about the excellence of bhakti. So see, when we hear about prayojan, when we see the devotees who are relishing and delighting in prayojan, right? Like for example, today's Bhagavatam class, if you hear the So Maharaj is so much in delight to glorify Bhagavatam. So when we hear such great souls like Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu, other day, or many, many pure devotees, gurus, so when we see them in great delight, that is our prayojan. But that prayojan is explained in 25th chapter. So you heard that in 25th chapter, right? The excellence of bhakti, the supremacy of bhakti, that that person can talk to the Lord, that person can, he doesn't even desire liberation, and so on. So many things were explained, no? In the 25th chapter, if you remember, that characteristic of devotee in bhava. He doesn't desire liberation. He he sees my beautiful form. He doesn't want to see anything else. He talks favorably with me, and he is never affected by time. So these are all perfected devotees and their characteristics. And the important words you heard, that is Satam Prasangat Mama Virya Sambhava. So having heard about the excellence of bhakti over all other paths, and then what are the Mishra Bhakti of Karma Mishra, Jnana Mishra, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Then now she wants to do Avideya, to practice it. So that's how, that is the connection here. Why it is repeated now? Repeated. So Prabhupada says that. So Prabhupada also gives a summary, which already we discussed in the beginning. In previous chapter, material nature, spirits, and Supreme Lord and the Super Soul are analytically studied. Right? So this is Lakshanam, Purushaha, Prakriti, etc. In this chapter, principles of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service, the execution of activities in eternal relationship between the living entities and personality of the Godhead are explained. Means what? Abhideya will be explained. So then he explains Tatparam, Yan Moolam Vachaksha. So Bhakti Yoga is the basic principle of all systems of philosophy. All philosophy which does not aim for devotional service to Lord is considered merely a mental speculation. But the course of Bhakti Yoga with no philosophical basis is more or less sentiment. So, see, Prabhupada is writing both sides here. So, the purpose of all philosophy or Siddhanta is to develop emotions for Krishna. However, simply by having some emotion of Krishna, which don't have any philosophical basis, is sentiment. So both sides Prabhupada is saying. So all philosophy should lead to bhakti, but bhakti yoga, which is pure, has to have philosophical basis. Otherwise, what is the case? Course of bhakti yoga with no philosophical basis is more or less a sentiment only. So this is what is told. So Prabhupada tells two classes of people. So there are some classes who are emphasized on knowledge, philosophy, they mentally speculate. And there are some other people who are sahajiya. They have no philosophical basis. Okay, simply we'll just do bhakti. Don't have to follow any rules, regulation. Don't have to read the scriptures. Because bhakti is completely independent. No? Just chant, that's all. Just say Radhe Radhe. Then you attain perfection. So nowadays these things are happening a lot. And people are getting swayed. The Prabhupada's followers are getting swayed by so many such waves nowadays. So Prabhupada is alarming in this purpose very clearly that neither of these can achieve the highest goal of life. Neither those who just mentally speculate or jnana, and neither sahajiya. Sahajiya are chanting Hare Krishna, practicing bhakti, but they don't have proper foundation of bhakti. Sentiment. They will not attain perfection. Neither these can achieve highest goal of life, and if they do, it will take them many, many lifetimes. Hmm? Till the time they come and touch with yoga. So that is the point. So the true karma or is bhakti or karma or dharma, whatever you say, it should lead to bhakti. So it should be either bhakti or anukul to bhakti. Or true jnana is bhakti or that which is anukul to bhakti. That which is devoid of both, devoid of karma or jnana, devoid of bhakti is completely fruitless, useless, waste of time. Sama eva hi kevalam, right? So this point Prabhupada writes in a very important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which I am trying to show here. 1.2.12. So this is the verse which we have. Yeah. Here. So this is Tat Shaddadhana Muneha Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashyanti Atmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shruta Gruhitaya. So this is the verse which is very important verse. How to attain? So previous verse is Varanti Tat Tattva Vidasya. So how to attain that Bhagavan Tattva? So this is the process. Practice to realize the Tattva of Bhagavan. So how to do that? A seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from Vedanta. So he doesn't just practice bhakti by hearing here and there. No. श्रुति स्मृति पुराणादि पंचरात्रि की विधि बिना ऐकांतिकी हरेर भक्ति उत्पाता एव कल्प. That bhakti which has no philosophical pure basis will create disturbance in society. What to speak of himself? He will be disturbed and he will disturb others, and no one will attend perfection. So, what is meaning of that? So that Prabhupada says here. You can see. So, yeah. So here, okay, this part we can read. Yeah. Yeah, you can read this part from here to here. This is Prabhupada's purport of 1 to 12. Yes. Yes, Ram Kishore.
Yes, Guruji. A neophyte devotee has very little taste for hearing from the authorities. Such a neophyte devotee makes a show of hearing from the professional man to satisfy his senses. Then B, this sort of hearing and chanting has spoiled the whole thing. So one should be very careful about the faulty process. The holy message of Godhead as inculcated in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam are undoubtedly transcendental subjects, but even though they are so, such transcendental matters are not to be received from the professional man who spoils them as the serpent spoils milk simply by touching of his tongue. A sincere devotee must therefore be prepared to hear the Vedic literature like the Upanishad, Vedanta, and the other literatures left by the previous authorities or Goswamis for the benefit of his progress. Without hearing such literatures, one cannot make actual progress. And without hearing and following the instruction, the show of devotional service becomes worthless. Therefore, a sort of disturbance in the path of devotional service.
Yeah. And that is the conclusion which I just now said. The verse, that's what Prabhupada quotes.
Okay.
Shruti Smriti Purana. So this is what nowadays is applicable more. You see this, so many people are hearing online this Baba, that Baba, and leaving ISKCON and going. Right? So we have to be founded in properly in these foundational books of Krishna consciousness through Guru Sadhu Shastra. So that's what when Prabhupada is saying here in this verse that the course of Bhakti Yoga with no philosophical basis is more or less sentimental. So, and because highest goal of life will not be attained. So he will remain here on. So that is the point. Very, very important point. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. So, And then Prabhupada tells about how one has to understand everything by examining its nature and characteristics. So we saw the nature and characteristics of material elements, ego, and so much techniques, right? And yogi. Now the nature and characteristics of bhakti are explained. So it's very important. So if we give up bhakti yoga and simply, so one thing is to do this examining, but not just get caught up in examining only. So that's what Prabhupada, see, he writes both sides. If we give up bhakti yoga and simply busy ourselves in analytical study of nature as things they are, then result will be nil. So such engagement is something like husking kind. So that is like Gyan kind of. So that's how he is writing. Yes, bro, you want to say something?
No, Guruji, I have a question. So, Guruji, when we go to Vrindavan, there are many we see people who are like they have a lot of love for Krishna, but then they are not able to explain the philosophy based on Bhagavatam that we hear. Of course,
Hmm.
there is no question that we will leave the path which Prabhupada has given to us. But then they say that the ultimate conclusion of all the scriptures is to holy name of the Lord, and they focus only on that. So they say that we are focused on the conclusion and we don't focus on the details. So how do we understand this respect to what Prabhupada has given to us?
Yeah. So since you mentioned about Vrindavan and the holy name, I'll show you one Prabhupada's purport. But let us see what Prabhupada says. Because Prabhupada stayed in that Vrindavan which you are talking about at that
Hmm.
time. And he has written a Ashtakam, which was discussed by Bhakti Prema. So we have to respect these people very nicely and appreciate their devotion. But we have to practice whom we have accepted. We have to follow our spiritual masters. And then we'll attain the same perfection.
Yes.
And that perfection is not just externally showing off. So they may be doing with bhakti,
Hmm.
but are we qualified to do it? That's why our acharyas have written so many songs for Nirjan Bhajan. Right? Dushta Mantami, Kisera
Yes.
Vaishnava.
Yes.
So there are so many warnings. Prabhupada also said to devotees that now, what is that, sir? Samadhi later. No? What is it?
Work now,
Service
Samadhi
now,
later. No
work
service
now,
now.
Samadhi later, etc. So they were genuine disciples of Prabhupada. They wanted this thing to do, but Prabhupada knew that qualification. You can't do it just by seeing someone do it. So the statement which I wanted to show
Okay.
is from Chaitanya Charitamrita about the chanting the holy name of Krishna.
One
So,
example from journey home is, our Guru, Radhanath Maharaj, his name is Radhanath Maharaj. He was
mhm.
associating with Ramesh Baba, who was very much, advanced in devotional service. But
Yes, yes,
Maharaj never copied him. He took
yes,
inspiration, but never copied his life.
yes. So that can goes to show that, right? And yeah, Ramesh Baba is one, and now he's a glorious devotee.
Yeah, Radha Gopijana Vallabha, that pastime. Mhm.
Uh, oh, good to hear. That is Ghanashyam Baba. No?
Sorry. I'm so
Ah,
sorry. It's Ghanashyam Baba. That's
Ghanashyam
why I
Baba.
thought I made a mistake.
Oh,
Ghanashyam Baba. Yes.
what a gem of devotees. My God.
Yeah. Ghanashyam.
Yeah, Ghanshyam Baba, he speaks. So the goal is that only. So this is the verse, the Krishna Mantra Highway. You are able to see it. Right? Krishna Mantra Highway Habe Samsara Mochan, Krishna Nama Highway Pavi Krishna Rachan.
No,
So,
Prabhuji, we cannot see.
okay. I'll just correct. So this is the context. You see Chaitanya and five teachers. Here Lord Chaitanya is telling about how Guru Mori Mok Dekhi Karila Shasan. But my Guru, he is explaining his interaction with his Guru. And Guru is telling now, and this verse is spoken by Guru only. Ishwar Puri is speaking this. But my dear boy, you are wonderful. Just chant and you. So simply by chanting the name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting Hare Krishna, one will be able to see the lotus feet of Lord. So in this purport, so you can read this purport and the previous purport also, how Prabhupada writes. So in this purport, you can see, yeah, here Prabhupada says. Please read this portion. One can
Yes.
overcome.
Krishna. Okay.
one can overcome.
Hmm.
I have highlighted it.
Huh. One can overcome all misconceptions and entanglement in the material world by practicing Bhakti Yoga. And therefore, Vyasdev, acting on the instruction of Narada, has very kindly introduced Srimad Bhagavatam to relieve the conditioned souls from the clutches of Maya. Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master instructed him there that one must read Srimad Bhagavatam regular scrutiny to gradually become attached to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Ah,
Yeah.
correct.
And then he goes to say the holy name and the Lord are identical. One who is completely free from clutches of Maya can understand
Hmm.
this fact, right? So, what I am trying to say here is, did Ishwar Puri spoke about Bhagavatam in the verse? Is there any Bhagavatam there? It doesn't appear to.
Right.
But Prabhupada is putting words in his mouth by saying this. So, the point is that we have to develop quality. So, that's what the point of Abhideya comes in. So, these are all great souls in Vrindavan who are ecstasy in doing bhajan are in Prayojana. But there is no proper Abhideya lined up for the process, which Prabhupada could do successfully in this whole world. Hmm? This is the glory of Srila Prabhupada, that he could give an Abhideya to attain the Prayojana. You just sit in the boat which is given by him, and then you can attain. So these devotees, they don't have a specific instructions for people in general to attain it. Surely they will tell something to us, but there is no specific procedure the way Prabhupada has given. So sometimes there are sadhus. So there are all kinds of people in Vrindavan. So there are genuine sadhus and devotees, and there are fake also. So we can't know who is who, so we should respect everyone, right? However, there are people like
Hmm.
Kanakishna who stays in Vrindavan, so he used to tell. There is some people, they say that first you put all your books in Yamuna, then you will begin, you know. So there are people
Hmm.
like that. But the Prabhupada's mood is not that. Prabhupada wanted us this. Hmm. So, and surely Prabhupada is from Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan. Is there any doubt about it? Not at all.
No.
So, if we want to attain, we have to follow Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. And they are also as qualified as, but only difference is that we have not seen the glories of the devotees who are there with us in the sense of perfected devotees. Hmm. So that's why we have to see Shastra. So for a book Bhagavat will tell you who is person Bhagavat. And person Bhagavat will explain you what is book Bhagavat. And that's how you can be careful.
Hmm.
That's what Prabhupada is really saying here. Hmm. So Bhagavatam, and that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's matam, isn't it? What is that? Aradhyo Bhagavan Sakshat Vrajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam
Tadham Vrindavan
Nakachi
Ramya
Supasana
Svachit Upasana
Kirnayasam
Vargino
Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema
Kamalam
Kumartoma
Kamalam Prabharto
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur
Chaitanya
Matamidam
Mahaprabhu
Satradhanam.
Tatra Dhananam.
So that's why Srila Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Adi Lila, first 7 chapters. If someone reads this first 7 chapters, then one will never give up Gaudiya Vaishnavism or ISKCON. So in my
Hmm.
understanding, there are many people. I can tell you, my friend has gone. He joined with us, very dedicated devotee. He has gone out now. So I met him. I am friends with him and all that. But I felt that he has not properly read Prabhupada books, Chaitanya Charitamrita, because what we have got is in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all our acharyas are manjiris. Is there any better than that? Hmm. So it takes faith actually on these things. Because, so that's why I'm saying the Abhideya part is very important. And Abhideya is very clearly, succinctly is given by Srila Prabhupada in his books. And his sincere followers will administer that. Hmm. Right? So And one place Srila Prabhupada says, even if you think that there are all neophyte devotees in ISKCON, but he should continue in ISKCON associating with his guru, like that Prabhupada says. Even if one thinks, in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, so that is the point. So you have to stick to the process properly. Avideya and Matispraya. So that's what Prabhupada said, no, the whole thing is lost. The same thing Prabhupada said. This sort of hearing and chanting has spoiled the whole thing. One should be careful. So hearing, you can hear Krishna's pastimes, they are so pleasing, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan with the gopis or even gopas, but that is not our sense gratification. Right? So point is we approach it through first 9 cantos. What about first 9 cantos? So that's the way the path is laid by Shukdev. That's the way Prabhupada wants us to love Krishna. Going through that. So we have to relish everything. And that Prabhupada says. So this has spoiled the whole thing, and we have to be very careful about the faulty process. See, Prabhupada has written these things, now they are more relevant.
Yes,
Right?
bro.
So that is what is the reflection on this study. I hope it gives some idea.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. And we should always respect everyone there, whosoever it is. We should not be, judgmental mood, but we have to be careful. We have to be cautious. We should respect him. If they speak Krishna Katha, we may hear also. There is no problem. But consciously, Abhidaya, we are focused on Guru Mukha Padma. That is, and Prabhupada, being loyal to Prabhupada and his followers. That way we remain safe in Vrindavan and go for few days. That's what is the suggestion by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Jagdanand
Yes,
Padi.
yes, bro.
So few days we go, get nourished by pure devotees, Guru Maharaj, and come back and serve you. So that is the best thing to do. So
Yeah,
that's what
bro.
is.
Thank you.
So going further, so now she is asking about actually there is little qualification required for bhakti, that is little vairagya. So for that she is asking question. Bhakti Bhakti praveshaya kinchit vairagyam apekshate iti tadartham pruchhyati. Virago yena purusho bhagavan sarvato bhavet achakshva jiva lokasya vividha mama samsmritihi. Yes, please continue.
Devhuti continued, My dear Lord, please also describe in detail, both for me and for people in general, the continual process of birth and death. For by hearing such calamities, we may become detached from the activities of this material world.
So, so these two things. So now she is asking samsmriti, how the repetitive birth and death is happening. Different types for different types of people. Those who are karma kandi, those who are not followers of any Vedic, you know. So all that. So this is the answer is there in the 30 to 33 chapters to this question. So this we have to hear. What is the purpose? We become detached. So that is the point. So please describe it in detail. So that's why Kapila speaks 4 chapters, 30, 31, 32. What is transmigration? How it happens for different kinds of people, what happens. So he tells very clearly. So that is and the purpose is to develop detachment. So how a living entity gets different kinds of bodies will be explained in the next chapter, so 30 on. So I said in this inquiry is answered in 30 to 32. 33 are the prayers. Now she is asking about time. Kaleswar, Kalasyeshwara Rupasya, Paresham cha Parasyati, Swarupam Bata Kurvanti, Yudheto Kushalanjana. Yes.
Please also describe eternal time, which is a representation of your form and by whose influence people in general engage in the performance of pious activities.
Yeah. So this time factor is the last 10 verses. You heard that elaborately in 3.11 also. So time that was very elaborate discussion. So everyone is aware of influence of time. It revolves everything. Kala Sarpa. So detachment comes by opening eyes to these two things. What is happening with me and what is happening with others and how time is affecting everything. Like Sarga and Nirodha, you understand, then you become detached and fearless. Right? That's the thing. And now she is glorifying Kapil Dev, that you are like sun to dispel all this darkness. Lokasya mithya rachakshusas chiram prasuptasya tamassanashraye shantasya karmaishu anuvidhaya dhiya tvam avirasaha ila yoga bhaskara. Please read this.
My dear Lord, you are just like the sun, for you eliminate the darkness of the conditional life of the living entities. Because their eyes of knowledge are not open, they are sleeping eternally in that darkness without your shelter. And therefore, they are falsely engaged by the actions and reactions of their material activities, and they appear to be very fatigued.
Yeah. So Devahuti, out of compassion to all the living entities who are too much attached to two things. One thing is karmeshu anuvidhayati. So they are too much attached to the fruitive activities and to enjoy the fruits of their action. And why? It is because of mithyabhimatehe achakshushaha. They have blinded because of the false ego. So we discussed this at length. What is false ego and all that, right? The three kinds of false ego. So only you, and they're sleeping on lap of Maya, prasupta, chiram prasupta. Long time they are sleeping, not prakrishta rupena suptas. Hmm? Tamasi anashray, taking shelter of darkness. So please, and they are, I am looking at them, they are fatigued. It's like, one senior devotee was giving nice example that actually perfected soul or pure devotee sees when the condition shows and they are like suffering or happy. It's like, some child is sleeping in the dream and he sees a very dangerous dream and he's becoming fearful. Hmm. So that's how they feel compassionate. That actually he just has to get up now. There is no fear actually. He's seeing in the dream, is identifying with the dream and becoming fearful. So please get up or distressed. And they see the happiness. These are some- So, sorry. So, and other is happiness. That is also a dream on the material platform, happiness. So they see them as sleeping soul. Hmm. So she is seeing them, they are all fatigued. So those who are enjoying or those who are in distress, all are in distress, all are fatigued. So Tvama Virasi Kila Yoga Bhaskara. But you are like sun. So you have shown the karma, jnana, ashtanga yoga, and bhakti so clearly. Hmm. So please help. Hmm. Like Avirasi means you have appeared. Hmm. So by your instruction. Hmm. So that is what is the meaning of this verse. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur elsewhere says that the condition of the living entities in the material world is twofold. They are either sleeping or they are unconscious. So sleeping on the lap of Maya doing sense pleasure. Hmm. And after repetitively doing that, becoming suffering by engaging in material sense gratification only. So they faint out of suffering. So both are unconscious states only. Both are sleeping states. Either they're sleeping on the bed of sense pleasure or they're sleeping on the unconscious, falling unconscious. So same thing what she is saying. So just please wake them up like that she is saying. Yoga Bhaskara, like a sun. Hmm. So illuminate darkness of this out of material identity, destroying the darkness of material identity. So that's what. So Prabhupada glorifies Devahuti to be Paradukha Dukhi. And this is the general feeling of a Vaishnava or devotee of love, that he should awaken them. So she is very, very compassionate. So you will see in this chapter that the devotee who is trying to getting influence for tamo guna, he practices bhakti, which is tamo guna influence. So he has no compassion. He becomes angry. He thinks I am the great devotee, etc. So there is no compassion. So natural person who is progressing in bhakti has this feeling. One thing is feeling, other thing is acting. See, serving in Jeev Daya department is very nice, but having Jeev Daya is a different thing than acting. Right? So here, the Prabhupada is saying this feeling was there in Devahu. So Yoga Bhaskara means he is system of all yoga. So and then he explains about the general conditions of the living entities. So they don't know their self-interest. They don't have eyes to see their own interest. They don't know the goal of life. And although they are eternal, they have eternal need. They don't know that need also. And currently, such dangerous things are happening. Like today, Maharaj was telling, nowadays people are trying to change the gender also. Can you imagine? Not in India at least, but India also it has come, I think. I don't know. Some people say that. In West it is there. Prabhu becomes Mata, Mata becomes Prabhu. Hmm. So, but now Trump has stopped that system because they understood it is all causing so much of danger. So it's so much of lack of goal, knowing the goal of life. Hmm. So they are trying to change gender. Can you imagine that they now I will try to be a woman, I'll try to be a man, and they do operations. So that's what is the situation. So sleeping in that darkest region, one does not get any refreshment, but rather gradually becomes fatigued. He invents many processes to adjust this fatigue condition, but he fails and thus remains confused. So you see in this world, so many people are trying so many different things. There is this thing, the recent thing I told, changing gender. Okay. So what else they are trying for getting happiness in this world? Changing the objects, changing the places, changing the what else, changing so many things. And they want to show that we are becoming happy. Hmm. They will put nice photos also. But what is happening? They don't get any refreshment. Because what is happening? Atma is not getting anything. Hmm. So they become fatigued by doing that. They become frustrated and fatigued. That was the condition of hippie section. And that time Prabhupada went. Right? So that's the progressive degradation. So there is confusion and there is distress. So there is great problem. The only path is bhakti. So that's how she is saying yoga bhaskara. So now Maitreya Muni tells the Sangati verse here that Kapil Muni becomes very delighted to see the question. Why he is happy? Because of the quality of her question. So Maitreya Uvacha इति मातुर्वचः स्वक्ष्मं प्रतिनन्द्य महामुनिः आबभाषे कुरुक्षेत्र प्रीतस्तां करुणार्दितः. Someone else can read maybe Jay Prakash too? Maybe?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm sorry, I forgot
Yes.
to initiate.
Sri Maitreya said, O best amongst the Kurus, the great sage Kapila, moved by great compassion and pleased by the words of his glorious mother, spoke as follows.
Yeah. So being pleased. Why did he become pleased? So Srilaji Goswami says, welcoming her word, since they arose from knowledge of greatness of God. So she heard the greatness in last 25th chapter precisely and other chapters. Now Kapila was pleased by the excellence of question. So what is meaning of this is having known glory of something, excellence of something, potency of something, one wants to practice it. Then one inquires. So this is a symptom of sincerity. Just as like today's Bhagavatam, the friends of Prahlad Maharaj heard everything very nicely. Slakshanaya vacha. Same words are. Prahlad spoke so sweetly, the pure message which he heard from Narada. And they accepted it to some extent, but they had one doubt. Like, my dear Prahlad, I have never seen you going our Chanda and Amarkar, only two gurus we have seen, and they are keeping us in our room only. How did you hear this? Hmm? If you tell us, then we will ready to act. We will, if you really want us to take your words seriously, please answer this assumption. So, so this is the so question is, so here why he is happy? Because Bhakti Mahima Jnanatva Pratinanda Pritaha Prashna Saushtyatvena. The questions were so wonderful. Means what? Now she wants to practice, right? So after knowing glory, okay, how I can practice? What are different paths which are not this? And she, other reason is she was compassionate, as Prabhupada already said in the previous part, right? So actually, this is the meaning of Tadvidhi Pranipat Pariprashna Seva. So if you see Baladev Vidyabhushan's purport to this, he says that these three activities, when the Tattvadarshis, the pure devotees, when they see in someone these three things, but what is that? When they see you, your sincerity to know the Supreme Lord and serve Supreme Lord, which manifests through surrender, inquiry, and service, then they show it to you. Very personal. Upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas. So the desire is there. So that desire to practice, desire to know and practice, that is pure devotion service in practice. So that's why he's happy with the question. So that's what. So Prabhupada tells about Karuna part, right? And says that Krishna is most pleased with a person who is preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita to the devotees. That verse he quotes. न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रियतमः सखे. So it's very dear to him. That is about Karuna. Right? So that is, so now the most important section starts. So this is now the bhakti in three modes, in 7, 8, and 9. Tamas, bhakti in tamogun, bhakti in rajogun, bhakti in sattvagun. And 10, 11, 12 are the nirguna bhakti. That's what we saw, the glory of bhakti, right? In the beginning, glory of Bhagavad. So let us try to understand what it is. So, so before, rather, I told seventh is tamasic bhakti. No, seventh is the introductory verse for the rest of the verses. So what Lord is answering? Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yogo Bahuvidho Margai Bhamini Bhavdate Swabhava Guna Margina Pumsam Bhavo Vividyate. Yes, Prabhu. Please continue. Prabhu.
Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor.
Yeah. So the most important point here is according to different quality of the executor, right? So the process of bhakti is very elevated and transcendental. But are we transcendental to practice it? Hmm? Not it, not at all. Hmm? So what will happen is, because we are conditioned by three modes, so the three modes will affect our bhakti. Hmm? So that is what is the meaning here. How it will affect? That is told in this verse and the next three verses, based on three modes, right? So that we can understand. Hmm? So let us understand the first. Bhakti yogo bahuidho margai bhamini bhave. Hey bhamini, a great lady, noble lady, bhamini. Bhakti yoga has many, many paths. Bahuvidho margai bhavete. Bhakti yoga. So it has many, many paths. Okay. How margai, how there are different, different paths. On what basis they are different? So he is telling in the next. See, the practitioner is there in different modes and he has different upbringing and swabhava, impression. Swabhava guna margena. So, according to the practitioner's swabhava or his impressions or his nature, which is very close to the Atma, and his guna, his qualities or his modes, you can say any. Three gunas in terms of three modes or gunas in terms of his qualities. Because of that, margena, pumsam, any living entity, bhavo vividyati. His abhipraya, he practices bhakti, but his intentions are different. How intentions manifest? So intention comes from the modes and the impressions. Swabhava guna. So that is what is. See? So naturally, the abhipraya. So bhava means abhipraya. So that's what you can see here. Margai means prakar vishesh. There are different types. So swabhava bhuta ye gunas tesham marga. Vritti bhedena. So vritti has two meanings. One is occupation and one is the nature, the way person behaves. Right? So that is different according to the mode in which he is situated. And it depends on swabhava, right? Which is the impression which is carried from previous lives and previous life and previous lives. Right? So that's how he has vritti bheda. And bhavo abhipraya. Abhipraya means his intention are different. Means what? Phala sankalpa bheda. So when he practices bhakti, he wants something else from bhakti. Phala sankalpa bheda means you practice bhakti for what purpose? Bheda iti artha. So very clearly Srila Swami says what is meaning. And what are different phala sankalpa bhed are told in next three verses. According sattva guni, rajo guni, tamo guni. What are the phala sankalpas of it? Right? And all of us know that the modes are connected to the varnas and ashramas, right? Not ashramas, specifically varnas. So that's how this is connected. So here the discussion is about detecting the influence of modes and curbing that intentions to practice pure devotional service. That is the purpose. Purpose is not to judge. Purpose is not to point out. Right? Purpose is to introspect and understand and go closer to practice of pure devotional service. Hmm? So that is what she is saying. That actually bhakti is one only, but it is perceived differently because of the practitioner's condition. So that's why it becomes Bahuvidho. So that is the meaning of this verse. So you can see Prabhupada says, now Kapila begins to speak about bhakti which is contaminated by gunas. Right? So very clear. Prabhupada is so and according to intention of a particular person, that intention becomes classified by the different actions of good. So this is Vishwanath Chakravarti and Prabhupada also says. So Prabhupada's father. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is one. Because in pure devotional service, there is no demand for devotee to be fulfilled by the Lord. So this is the answer. But generally, people take to devotional service with some purpose. Right? So he tells about Artha, Jitnyasu, Arthati, Jnani, etc. So that is general. General. There are very few who are like seekers, like journey home we can see. The seeker. So there is no mission there. But generally it's condition. Actually, the path of devotional service is one without second. But according to devotee's condition, the devotional service appears in multifarious varieties, as will be nicely explained in the following verses. So now, the next verse will tell us what is the tamasic bhakti practiced by a person who is in mode of tamogu or predominantly etc. So, Let us see that verse, 8th verse. So here I quoted this verse 9.3 also. So Prabhupada writes there. So 9.3 is the most confidential knowledge. There Prabhupada writes about 3 levels of devotees. So he says that the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttama Adhikari. So when the infection of the ulterior motivation is gone, then he becomes second class, like the Prabhupada said. And he says many people, we have practical experience that many people come to bhakti with some motivation and soon they leave after that because of their motivations are not fulfilled and so on. So that is 9.3 purport each. When we see. So now let us see what is bhakti in mode of ignorance. अभिसन्धाय यो हिंसां दम्भं मत्सर्यमेव वा संरम्भी भिन्नदृग्भावं मयि कुर्यात् स्म तामसः. Someone else can read, no? Maybe Sachin Prabhu.
Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist is considered to be in the mode of darkness.
Yeah. So here you see the words, very important. Abhisandhaya. Abhisandhaya means with that goal in mind. Abhisandhaya. So this word will come in all the verses. With that in mind as the goal. So he Mai Kuryat Tamas. Bhavam Mai Kuryat. Means he practices bhakti only. He does Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, Navida bhakti only he does. But with the desire of what Prabhupada is mentioning, having in view. Having in view means he wants to attain that. Phalasan Abhisam. Right? So what is his view? So there are 3 levels. Himsam, Dambham, Matsaryam. So actually, as Prabhupada will write in the purport, so there are, you see, there are 3 modes. So there are 3 kinds of bhakti. But in every mode, there are 3 levels. Right? So there is the least, or it is inferior tamasic bhakti, medium tamasic bhakti, and superior tamasic bhakti. Inferior rajasic bhakti, superior rajasic bhakti, and medium rajasic bhakti, and inferior satviki bhakti, medium satviki bhakti, and superior satviki bhakti. So that's how there are 9 types of. So they are connected. So every verse is telling 3 levels of bhakti. So first is here the tamasi, the least, the inferior tamasi bhakti is one who is practicing bhakti for sake of violence. So we know that Diti, right? So Diti practiced bhakti, but she wanted to kill him. So that is one example. So himsam, first is dambham is deceit, cheating. That is next level. So one wants to do cheating by practice of bhakti. And matsarya is competition. So there is a competition, competitive mood while practicing bhakti. Seeing someone else doing something, seeing some demigod worship happening with so pompous, I will also worship Krishna with pomp. So that kind of competition. So Matsarya is competition. So such person is angry. Sambrambi. That Sambrambi is doing Tamasi bhakti. And what is his problem? His Bhinnadrik means he has no compassion because he's angry. How angry person can have compassion? He is not compassionate on himself only. Because anger, the biggest problem happens to the person itself. Because of he is angry. So Bhinnadrik means he is separatist. So Prathak Bhava, Bhinnadrik, Prabhupada will say all these things. So this is what is about this thing. So we can see the purport. That one should not say that bhakti becomes tamasic. Rather, the particular person is tamasic. With goal of violence, pride, and hatred. The angry person with no compassion who performs bhakti to me is tamasic. So this is the translation in one sense. So there are three types. So he is of three types. So I just now said. So this is given here. So the first one is Anyasya vinachartham bhajati. This is tamasa adama bhakti. Archayet kaitavadhya swairini swapatimya. So he who is like a prostitute worship Master Narayan with cheating mentality has tamasa madhyama tamas. And then deva pujam društva spardhaya yu archayet hari. Seeing some other worship of other demigods, he wants to do the same out of competitive mentality. That is the tamasottam, tamasottama. Right? So similarly, there are other three also. So violence, cheating, and competition. These mentalities are symptoms of mode of ignorance, which manifest in form of anger. So that's what is true. So Prabhupada also says that. So he very beautifully he defines actually what is bhakti in perfection and bhakti in practice, right? As I told you, abhideya. Right? So you see, Prabhupada quotes Savaipum Samparo Dharmo Yato Bhaktiradokshiji Ahaituki Apratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. Most glorious religion is the attainment of causeless unmotivated devotional service. So this is perfected devotional service. This is a pure condition of living. But current, what is the conditioned state? So in conditioned stage, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instruction of bona fide spiritual master in full service. So Prabhupada directly comes to the solution first, then telling what is told in the verse, which he will tell in the next part. That this is the focus of our life. Just now I was feeling that only, answering the question, right? The most important part is execute order of Guru in full surrender. That's it. And that is the place is Vrindavan. Like that is what Puja Radhanand Maharaj says in one very nice lecture. Jagannath Puri realizations. Brilliant lecture. There he says all these things. The submissiveness and surrender are the things which will give us realizations of Rajmukti. And not executing order. There are so many his God brothers he quotes that they were traveling with Prabhupada wherever they were going. But he said that I could not see them. When Prabhupada left, they also left. So the point is the submission and surrender and execution of order of Guru is the key principle of it. And that is the devotional service, pure devotional service in practice, whichever mode we are. So that is what practical Prabhupada is in explaining this. So the Guru is manifested representation of Krishna, so one should follow that. So this is a brilliant statement. To act under the direction of bona fide spiritual master with a motive to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead is pure devotional service. So we can keep this statement in our mind because this is what is the pure devotional service in practice. So there is an action which is under the direction of Guru, and there is motivation is to please. This is pure devotional service in practice. So because of our upbringing and impressions, this cannot be practiced constantly, but we should strive for it. And more we do that, more Guru will bless. That's the whole process. So then Prabhupada starts telling about Tamasi Bhakti very beautifully. And he explains very nicely. No Acharya is explained like this. So this is what is explained by Acharya, this one line. But Prabhupada says very beautifully. So he is proud of his personality. This is the first symptom of Tamogu. One who approaches the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, but one who is proud of his personality, envious of others, or vengeful is in mode of anger. He thinks that he is the best devotee. Devotional service executed in this way, it is mixed and it is of the lowest grade. Tamasa. And then he says that such Vaishnavas should be respected, but we should not associate with. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reflects. So this Vaishnava is also very glorious. Although he is angry, but it is glory. A Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his ultimate goal of life. So this is the glory of that Vaishnava. But if one is not pure, still he has motives, then he is not a Vaishnava of the first order of good character. So character is having some flaw because of the motive. Okay? So such Vaishnava should be respected, but we should not associate with them. That's what Prabhupada said. One may offer his respect to such Vaishnava because he has accepted the Lord as ultimate goal of life, which is glorious actually. Kanishta Adhikari is a very glorious position because he wants to practice pure devotions. At least that is. But one should not keep company with such Vaishnava in the mode of ignorance. Okay? Just as one devotee was telling me, example of this. Actually, how rare is this? Sometimes we think that, Kanishta Adhikari or whatever. So he said that actually pure devotee is like someone who is the president or prime minister. Hmm. And the cabinet ministers are like the rarity scale of Madhyam Adhikari. Hmm. And the the people who are doing voting, hmm, who are proper citizens are like Kanishta who are following the government. So that is the rarity of Kanishta Adhikari. Because Kanishta Adhikari is a very good level of consciousness. So because he has accepted Lord as goal of life. Okay? So that is how Prabhupada says. So the next verse, so we will go to the next verse. Anyway, in between there was raise of hand. Maybe quickly we can take something, discussion, and then go to the verses. Yes, someone has read hand. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, what is the example of cheating by bhakti?
Yeah, so see, actually, I was also looking for it, but no Acharya gives any example. So I did ask this question to Maharaj, who has come here. So what did he say that these are all transient stages of sadhaka. So the examples are not given by Acharyas. Transient stages means what? He will make progress eventually, and he will become pure if he is sincere. So explicitly there are no examples, and then he said that the fourth canto gives some examples. The Kapil Dev is telling here Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic. So fourth canto you see Dhruva Maharaj is example of Rajasic Bhakti, and Puthu Maharaj is Satviki Bhakti, and Daksha is Tamasic. Like that he was. So we can get some indication. However, the point here is they are all practitioners of Swarup Siddha Bhakti. They do Navida Bhakti, but there are motives because of the influence of moods. So it's a transient stage which one will go through. And how much time depends on how much he is sincere and how much he is associating with pure devotees. That's why the examples are not directly given. So that's why here a little bit example was given the mentality, right? So you said Kaitava Dhyana. Yo archayat Kaitava Dhya Swairini Swapatim Yatha. So the woman who has paramour, who serves husband very nicely, but with cheating mentality. So one serves Krishna, but with cheating mentality. So that can be the example. Such mentality is the example of that cheating mentality. Right? This is what is written in the Brihanaradi. Yeah. And these emotions are also transient also. Not that always one is having cheating mentality. No, it can be at some point of time also. So that is influence of that mode. So that's how
Prabhuji, can we call that Hruday Durbalyam also? Like, when the Hruday Durbalyam comes, that time he will be cheating.
we can surely, very correct. Because Kuti Nati is that one. Hridaya Daurbalya manifests in four things, as told by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So what is that? Tuti Nati, Tuchha Sakti, Matsarta, and pride. Pride, envy, Tuchha Sakti means you gave up so much, but small thing you remain at it. And then there is Kutinati. Kutinati is this duplicity. So that is surely Hridaya Daurbalya. Yes, Pro.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have one question. If one is practicing devotional service sincerely and seriously, and still he is under anger, not because of pride and envious of others, etc., but if opposite party means he's talking to someone, at that time an opposite party instigate him, then he becomes angry. Then whether such type of bhakti is called is in the mode of ignorance or not?
No, not at all. See, we should not see the externals. What is important is abhisandaya. What is the intention? Anger can be by reason. So, what reason one becomes angry will lead to what he is. So, in one lecture, Radhanath Maharaj was saying that Jiva Goswami becoming angry at Rupa Narayan is good. Vaishnava should become angry at that. When Rup Sanatan, no, that Rup Narayan came in. So that anger is what Maharaj uses word. It's I don't remember the word. The point is it's correct. It should happen. So anger should happen at right time. It's not that angry person is a problem. Why one is becoming anger? So there, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so angry at Jagat Mother because some other Vaishnavas are getting affected. So that time we should become angry. Prabhupada rotated kartals to beat the molesting disciple. No? There were Mataji disciples who were molested by some people in India. So Prabhupada became angry. So point is, it's not about anger, it's about why one is becoming angry. So it's not about just anger, person is in tamogun. No.
Intention is
Not
important.
yeah, why one becomes angry. Intention is important. That's why devotees, we have to be very careful. That sometimes there are some devotees who are become angry, but it has helped us so much because right time they become angry for right thing. Otherwise, no one tells you anything. What is the problem? Then there's a problem. So it's very difficult to understand the intentions of devotees. So best course of action is give benefit of doubt and respect it. And if they are close enough, it is affecting us, then humbly inquire, humbly express. So it's not that he is in Tamoguna. Right? That is, so now the next two verses are going to tell about the another three Rajoguni and another three Tamoguni. Satvaguni. Right? So let us see that. So text name. Vishayana visandhaya yasham aishwaryam vava archada varchayedyo mam prathak bhava sarajasa. Yes, you can read translation.
The worship of deities in the temple of a temple by separatists with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion.
Yeah. So here, what is in view? What is in goal? Sense object, Vishaya, or Yasha, or Aishwarya. These three things. Himsa, Damba, Matsarya are three. Vishayan means he wants sense objects through practice of bhakti. Archayed, Archayed. He worships me, but he is Rajasi worship. So he wants objects of senses through practice of bhakti. Okay, he doesn't want Vishaya. He wants fame. He doesn't. Okay, and third is he wants opulence. So these three things are there. So these three things are also the three levels of Rajasa Dhama, Rajasa Madhyama, and Rajasottama. Right? So that's how these three are there. So I would like to show that first in this slide.
Swamiji, are Ritviks in mode of passion?
See, we can never say that outrightly, putting them all in one category. So it's all very individual. They are chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, following four regulative principles, distributing Prabhupada's books, opening temples, helping people to do bhakti only according to what Prabhupada said. So they are doing many nice things. Okay. So we cannot blanket put them all in one category. Right? So we have to see the case to case. There are sincere
got it.
people everywhere and there are cheating people everywhere.
Got it.
So, yes. And there are so many devotees who have come from there to here also. Right? So not necessarily they are all in this. So I was just trying to show the slides. So this is first I'll show this. Yeah. So this we saw, right? We are seeing the tamasic bhakti in three modes. So done for destruction, done for cheating or deceitful mentality, like unchaste wife worshipping the husband, and competition. So what about Rajasa? So Prithak Bhava. So here, so see, the Prithak Bhava means he has no compassion in the previous verse, Bhinna Drik. Okay? So now, what is meaning of Prithak Bhava Sa Rajas? So he has desire for other objects other than me. That is his Prithak Bhava. So it is little finer than the gross, which was he had no compassion. He desires some other objects than me. That's what Lord is. So what he desires? Vishaya, Adhama Rajas, equipped with higher faith, one who worships Lord Hari, praying for money and material resources. That is Vishnu. Then fame means he practiced bhakti for fame. Right? How many followers, how many likes, or whatever. How many people are there in my program, how many followers I have, and all that. This is all the goal is that, with the goal in mind. And the highest is Uttama Rajasa Bhakti is for liberation. One who worships Lord Hari with a desire to attain liberation, such as Salukya, residing on the same planet as the Lord. That is the Rajasic Bhakti, Uttama Rajasa Bhakti. Right? So that is what is the three types. And the next verse will tell about the Satviki Bhakti also. So see, so here Satviki Bhakti also says that Pruthak Bhava, the verse says, uh, yeah, कर्मनिहारम उद्दिश्य परस्मिन् मातदर्पणम यद्देज्ययष्टव्यमति वा पृथक भाव स सात्विकः. So पृथक भाव shabda is here. So here the separatists, see, separatists are all three, but the separatist is more finer and deeper. So no compassion, he wants something else. Now he thinks that liberation is separate from attaining it. So that is what is the bhakti in mode of goodness. So if one practices the adhama satviki bhakti is he practices to destroy his sin. So he has more higher faith than the previous one. Equipped with higher faith, one who worships Lord Hari expertly only to diminish sins. So expertly they will do, but they will do it for now taking bath in college. It's an act of bhakti if he goes to Ganges. But the goal is if I want to destroy the sins, then it comes in this category. So it depends on why you're doing what you're doing. Second is dutiful act, external, madhyama satviki bhakti. Equipped with faith, one who performs service because he has heard from somewhere that such and such service is dear to Lord, but he does not apply much intellect and realization. So that is beautiful. Okay, I heard this is very good. So I came like it. So it's also good only, but it is Madhyama Satviki Bhakti. Externally dutiful act and internally dutiful act. Uttama Satviki Bhakti. One who worships the Lord of Shri Lakshmi like a servant with an intelligence equipped with scriptural rules and regulations and performs the topmost type of devotion in matrimony. So this is proper, like half-hearted and wholehearted, right? In the sense of as a duty, na? Doing duty only, dutiful. So dutiful is sattva good, right? So when one is wholehearted, dutiful is the highest. When one is half-hearted, dutiful is medium. And one who wants to destroy his sin is the lowermost satviki bhakti. So that is what is explained very nicely in Bhakti Sandarbha. From there only I have taken. And that's how this becomes 81 types of Bhakti Prabhus. So Prabhupada says that in the purport, in this purport or next purport. So how it becomes 81, that is told in this slide, what you are seeing. So you see there are 9 motivations, Abhisandar, with in view of destruction, deceitfulness, competition, sense objects, fame, opulence. These are 9 motivations. And there are 9 processes of devotional service. So every process can be done in 9 different ways with 9 different motivations. So that becomes 81 types of bhakti. So that is what is right. So this is the motivation, and this is the deeper intention behind the motivation, right? That he wants other objects than the Lord because of ignorance. He doesn't know that if you just serve Lord, everything Lord will provide, including whatever you want. Beyond that, He will. And he thinks that, okay, I want liberation. And what liberation? Liberation is standing at the door of pure duty, right? So this is the deeper, his understanding is not clear, right? That's why. So it's both. So this is how the 81 types of bhakti are there. And we have to cross all this to practice pure devotional service. That is what is the point here of Kapil Dev. Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So, Puruji, for the Kumbh Mela, many devotees went to Kumbh Mela to take a dip in holy rivers of Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. So,
Yes.
how can we classify here?
Individually, why you went, you have to ask, why did you go, Prabhu?
Huh.
Why did you go? Actually, my parents went by doing car from here. And my
Asha.
brother and his wife also went by doing car from here. So many people went. I think 1/3 of India went.
Yes,
I
yes,
have
Prabhu.
heard. And so it's good to go, but why? What is your intention? It's very individual problem. So we don't know who is going for what purpose. But suffice it to say that it is act of devotional service to take bath in Ganges externally also, and it will have some effect. But the effect of purification will depend on the intention and the understanding of that person. Right? So that's the thing. Can you
So some
imagine Gaurang Prabhu is managing the prasadam there? Why did he go? So if you see, his goal is so profound. He is creating sukruti by feeding nice prasadam cooked by nice devotees. Because where you will get so many people to feed prasad? Any temple, so many people can come. Lakhs and so this is his great idea that feeding prasadam, creating sukruti. So this is a deep vision, and which externally is also appreciated, but devotionally, what all things it can do? Can you imagine? Such nice devotees like our Sri Kumar Krishna Prabhu went there, our Brahmaja. So he managed that whole thing. Can you imagine that kitchen management is very, but the whole thing is the Sukruti creation. So they went there for that main purpose.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Guruji. We just went for, our intention is, we just went for increasing our credits for spiritual credits, whether it is correct or not.
To increase spiritual credit means Sukruti only. So that's you want to increase your
That is
Bhaktanmukh
our
Sukruti.
desire, na Prabhuji.
Yeah, that is good
No,
only.
not-
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
However, same can be done when you take bath in Ganges also, right? So, so that also has to be understood because Ganges is always merciful. However, this is occasion, there is speciality. So there is excitement and so much is happening. But our intention is to increase our Bhaktanmukh Sukruti. It's good. There is no problem in that. That's what we should pray also. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Now you have heard that if you take bath in Ganges, your sins are destroyed. And if you take bath in Yamuna, what is destroyed?
Punya.
Yeah, your punya is destroyed. Because we don't want any of this. Because punya is more dangerous than pap actually. Pap can give some suffering that we can approach the Supreme Lord. But punya will give material happiness. So punya is destroyed. And Saraswati is a river which gives deep. No, so the words of the Saraswati river is compared with the words of the Lord. So they are very holy rivers. The more we go with right consciousness, surely it will have positive effects. So it's nice that you went. There is no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So that's what we are discussing. Now let us go to. So before going to that now, I would like to say two things before going to the verses about the, because these are about what these differences are coming because of what reasons, what Kapil Dev is saying in the sixth verse. Swabhava guna margena bhavo vividyate. Right? Because of the previous impressions and the mode's influence, the intentions are different. Right? So there is a difference between swabhava and our what you can say faith. So we can have pure faith in impure heart. Right? Pure faith can exist in impure heart, and that's how we can begin practicing pure devotional service. So it's not that स्वभाव प्योर होने के बाद हम शुद्ध भक्ति करेंगे नहीं. शुद्ध भक्ति can be done in conditioned stage also. That's what is being said here. So let us understand that for few minutes. So that's what I have written here. So what is swabhava? So, so you see, Shraddha and Swabhava. We have to understand these two things. So Shraddha can come in anyone's heart by dint of association with pure devotee. Irrespective of the contamination he has, like hippies. Prabhupada gave them faith. So Swabhava, our Swabhava can be impure in conditioned state, but Shraddha can be pure. So there is different purity of Shraddha and purity of Swabhava. Right? So that Shraddha comes by sound vibration, Guru Sadhu Shastra. So that is important. And Swabhava, we have to deal with it. Because who else will deal? Unless actually Swabhava Vijayam Shaurya. Lord defines chivalry, saying that to conquer one's own lower nature is Swabhava. Because all problem comes because of it. So what is that Swabhava? Swabhava is something very close to the Atma. The impressions held in the subtle elements which accompany Jiva birth after birth. That is called Swabhava. It's that substance which is connected to Jiva, Padartha. So this is told in the section of 8th chapter. There are similar questions, no? No, the questions, what is karma? What are those questions? Adi Bhota, Adi Daiva, Bhagavad Gita. So Swabhava. So, so that governs our body. So someone who is predominance of Sattva may be Brahmana, who is predominantly Sattvic, but he gets affected by other modes also. But predominance is Sattva. Predominance is Rajogun with secondary mode predominant in Rajogun. I had two types. Kshatriya, and Vaishya. So predominant of Rajas with Sattva as secondary mode is Kshatriya. He has nature to controlling others. And predominant in Rajas, but Tamas is a secondary mode. Then there is predominance of dealing with money. And predominance in Tamogun is Shudra. But the glory of Bhakti is they all can practice and perfect Bhakti. Right? So that's the point. We just trying to understand what is Swabhava.
So, Prabhuji,
And
Swabhav is not a disqualification for bhakti.
not at all. There is no disqualification for that.
That can be explained to while preaching, because
Yes,
people think, oh, I cannot take bhakti.
not at all. Like today only, today question answer. There was a question you heard today. One Mataji asked nice question.
Oh, Prabhuji, I was in office.
Very nice class. Please hear, Prabhuji. Brilliant.
Yes,
It was
yes,
like
I will hear.
amazing. So there he was telling the same thing. Bhakti. What is adhikar of bhakti? Nirmatrasya adhikaritvam. Srila Rupa Goswami says. What is adhikar? That you are a human being. Pumsam, right? Pumsam is human being. Is the quality. Of course, bhakti is practiced by animals also, but NOD was written for humans. So that's why he says Nirmatrasya adhikar. But then what he says that, but the qualification is, so he gives example that how adhikar. So since we are talking about adhikar, so he said just as in Magh Mela, so it's very good context. Now, Magh Mela one goes, like now this Kumbh Mela. So one goes to take bath in Haridwar. So who can go and take bath there? Anyone can go, right? But if you go in Magh month to take bath in Haridwar, it's very cold. So it takes faith to take bath. That is the qualification. It takes faith to take bath there and to get some benefit. That faith is the qualification of bhakti. That's all. No swabhava. Nirmatrasya adhikar. Right? So, having said that, now the qualification of pure devotional service is pure faith.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this Swabhav, it goes with us like life after life.
Yes.
But Prabhuji, like our nature, like the planetary system also, like our horoscope, what the planetary alignment is there, that also governs our nature. So that means, so we are born in that kind of alignment.
Yeah,
So,
correct. So they all sync with each other.
so Prabhuji, but like birth after birth, our the fate will remain the same birth after birth.
No. Don't take in that direction. Bhakti can do anything. What is defined as Swabhava is that which is very close to the Jiva. But that Swabhava can be changed by Bhakti in this life in few years. By dint of mercy of Lord coming through pure devotee. That is the point. So not for devotee. Devotee Swabhava will change to the degree he is sincerely taking shelter of a pure devotee. So that is not for. The point of saying is that it is very difficult to give up. It is there with you from many, many lifetimes. That's why Shabhava Vijayam Shaurya. To detect your Swabhava and to conquer your Swabhava is the real chivalry. Then you conquer the whole world. But first understand what is my nature, what is my lower nature. So that is what is. So that is not about bhakti. Bhakti can change in few minutes, few hours, few seconds, and few years, few decades, few lifetimes, depending on the person who is practicing and whom he is associating with. So bhakti, what is pure faith? Pure faith is Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Drud Nishya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita. So this is the pure faith which we should cultivate. So everyone has different strength of this. So the resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva Sarva. So faith means unflinching trust. Something sublime means like today only Prabhu was telling that someone is sitting in Bhagavatam. Even if he is not understanding, he gets up and goes. And there is other person who is understanding who sits there. So both have some motives. But someone who has faith Even if he doesn't understand if he is sitting, that is symptom of faith. Like that he was telling. So faith is just you do it because of the process. Right? So how to attain pure faith? By associating with pure devotee. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatan Shiksha. Sadhu Sange Krishna Bhakti Shraddha Yadi. So pure faith awakens when Subuddhi aata hai. Subuddhi means right intelligence comes. And what happens? That time Gada Bhakti Yoge Tabe Krishnera Bhajan. When Bhukti Muddhi Siddhi Kami, one who has these desires, when he gets the right intelligence, then he wants to practice intense bhakti. But how that? That is by great fortune of association with pure devotee. So where you get this? From pure devotee. Perfected pure devotee. So who is a pure devotee? There are two types. Practicing pure devotee, perfected pure devotee. So we will see that. And there is, so this is what Prabhupada is saying in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That Shraddha. So there are three levels of devotees. Uttama, Madhyama, Kanishka. They are having different faiths. So they have pure faith, but the strength is Komal, strength is Drida, and stealth is expert, Sunipun. So that's what Prabhupada says here. A neophyte believes that a love, only love for Krishna or Krishna consciousness is very good. But he may not know the basis of pure Krishna consciousness or how he can become perfect. So he believes that yes, this is very nice, but he doesn't know the basis. He is called a Kanishtari. And he is affected, he is attracted to karma, jnana, and yoga. When he is freed from the transcendental mixed devotional activity, then he becomes second class devotee, that is Madhyama, and then Uttama. So this is all having pure faith. So they are progressive, right? So, and what is important for that? Guru Sadhu Shastra, as I said. So that's what Prabhupada says. The second class devotee, even though he cannot support his position with Shastric reference, can gradually become first class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with first class devotee. A neophyte may fall down associating with non devotees. He is not firmly convinced and strongly situated. And if second class devotee doesn't take advantage of associating with pure devotees, then he remains there only. So these are the means, Person Bhagavad and Book Bhagavad. That is what is the point, the essence of getting the faith. Right? So that these are the two important things I wanted to say. These are the details of this already. So let us just read through these verses now and see if there any discussion. So Vishayanabhisandhaya Yashamaishwaryameva va. I think this we read, right? Or no? No. Okay. We can yes read the translation of text now. Someone can read.
The worship of deities in the temple by separatists with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion.
Yeah. So three things, as I already told you. So now we will not see that. So very nicely, Prabhupada write what is meaning of separatist. So different interest than the Supreme Lord. He wants some other objects of senses. So that is different interest. He wants liberation. That is also separate interest. So that's what mixed devotees and passion ignorance. So they think that Lord is order supplier, etc. So that's why he's so Rajasi Bhakta. He wants to become famous and opulent by utilizing sea of grace of Lord. And then Prabhupada punches on Mayavadis also. So Mayavadis use this word, says that see, this one who thinks himself different than Lord is separatist. So he says that is also under mood only. So Prabhupada punches on Mayavadis also. The real oneness is oneness of interest, not oneness of constitution, not merging. So he says he punches on Mayavadis. When one has even tinge of personal interest, his devotion is mixed with three modes of material. Then Sattvic, yeah, please continue reading translation.
When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the result of his activities in order to free himself from the inabilities of fruitive activities. His devotion is in the mode of goodness.
Yeah. So Satviki Bhakti. So this already I told 9 types of Bhakti. So these are destinations, and that what one will attain. So these influences of 3 modes. So generally they will want material results, and they will get material results greater than usual by practice of bhakti. Okay. So someone wants to become famous and he's not a devotee, so he will get some result. But if a devotee worshipping Hari wants to become famous, he will get more result than that devotee, that outside person, because of power of bhakti. He will get more result. That's what is told here. The Rajasic and Tamasic bhakti produce results. Bhakti is powerful. The performance get material results. That's the point. He is asking like five rupees from a person who can give you diamond, something like that. So, however, the results will be greater than usual because of power of bhakti. But what about in terms of yielding devotional results? In some cases, such bhakti will with time become pure bhakti. So it is not that everyone will become pure. The point is few will become pure. A devotional result will be attained. And for that he is quoting this verse, which is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita, na, that I know this person is foolishly coming to me, but I know I am Vigya. I will not give him this. I will give my lotus feet only. So that verse is nothing but this verse only from Bhagavad. So that's what Vishwanath quotes. And then, so Prabhupada brings it to a very practical thing that karmarpanam. Karmarpanam means what? You think that I am doing something and I offer result to Krishna at the end. So this is Satviki Bhakti, karmarpanam. But a pure devotee doesn't think like that. Right from beginning only he offers to Krishna. Because he understands that it is not that I am doing. So there's a difference between karmarpanam. So Prabhupada says karmarpanam is Satviki Bhakti. But if this offering process is in the mode of goodness rather than in pure devotion, that interest is different. So, and the 4 Varnas and ashramas which we already saw. So Prabhupada says that there are some personal interest in that. And inevitable because of the influence of previous impressions is there. You can't just delete it, right? It's there. We have to act upon it. So, but the pure devotional service is Annabhilash. Devotional service in mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness can be divided into 81 categories. So we saw that. Right? So so this is what we have to do. One has to transcend all such mixed materialistic devotional service in order to reach the standard of pure devotional service, as explained in the next verses. So this is the goal of this description, that this is not what I am supposed to do. I may get such desires, but this is not the goal. The goal, glory is the next 2 verses. So we'll just take the translation and then continue discussing tomorrow about this. So, as I discussed this verse before also, and right in the beginning, what is the purpose of so much description from chapter 25, 26, 27, 28, and now the details of Sattva Gun, Rajagun, Tamogun, Bhakti is to come to this verse. अथ यस्य एव उत्कर्ष ज्ञानार्थम एते भक्ति भेद निरूपितः सा भक्ति मात्र कामत्वम निष्काम निर्गुण केवल स्वरूप सिद्ध निरूप्य. So just to tell the excellence of the pure devotional service, pure analog devotional service, which only desires bhakti. So we practice bhakti to increase bhakti. That's all. Means bhakti is practiced for bhakti only, to get more bhakti, that's all. No other nishka. That's why bhakti matra kamatvam. Nishkama, nirguna, kevala, swarup siddha. That's why bhakti veda nirupita. That's why we saw. It's just like, earlier days there were, I remember in home they used to cook rice. So before that they will take the grains and they will remove. They will remove some kankad and some grain. So like that. And so we have to remove these things from our consciousness, which are not appropriate. And then we wash rice and offer pure rice to Krishna. So that is the purpose of discussion, to know what is mixture and to remove the mixture in terms of avideya and in terms of prayojan, in terms of intentions and in terms of practices. So that is what is the next verse. Tadgunashruti matreya mai sarva guhashaye मनोगतिर्विच्छिन्ना यथा गंगाम्बसंबुधौ क्षणं भक्ति योगस्य निर्गुणस्य युदार्थम् अहेतुक्या व्यहिता या भक्तिर्पुरुषोत्तमे. Yes, so can read this last one.
The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of Ganga flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So that is the explanation of pure unalloyed devotional service. That's what actually Prabhupada also says. He uses this word, pure unalloyed. It's not just pure devotional service, unadulterated pure devotional service. The basic principle of it. That one has developed great taste for Hari Katha, Hari Nam, Hari Gun, Hari Seva, etc. Simply by hearing, his mind goes into Krishna's qualities. So that is what is the pure unalloyed devotional service. And it is compared with the flow of Ganges. Right? So just I'll explain the verse. That's all. Mad guna shruti matre. Simply by hearing my qualities. What happens? Mai sarva bhashvaye. I am like what Prabhupada is translating here, residing in everyone's heart. Lord is there in everyone's heart. So his mind goes into that Lord who is there in everyone's heart simply by hearing qualities of Lord. Okay, how it goes for how much time? Continuous, avichinna. How analogies? Yatha, avichinna means without any break. Yatha Gangam Vasam Buddha, just as the water of Ganges flows towards the ocean. That this is the Lakshanam Bhakti Yoga. Which Bhakti Yoga? Earlier also Tamasi Rajasi. Nirgunasya Bhakti Yogasya Lakshanam. Udhartam. So these are the characteristics. And they are essentially characterized as Ahaituki Avyabhakta. Ahaituki means Phala Anusandhana Shunya. There is no other intention, causeless, and not separated. There is no separatist mentality here. Veda Darshana. Ya Bhakti Purushottam. So, Ta Bhakti is the Nirgun Bhakti, which is, and the characteristics of it. So, that is the meaning of this verse. So, already we have exceeded time. So, we'll pause here and continue this discussion tomorrow. As I told, this is a very important this chapter. So we are spending a little more time here. So thank you all very much for your participation and patient hearing. Shankara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
In case anyone has any comment, clarification, question, they may stay and ask also in case. And if you wish to proceed, you can happily proceed also. Yes, Yashika Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Chandra.
I have a question. I heard that यमुना में स्नान करने से मतलब पुण्य फिनिश हो जाते हैं. तो जैसे अगर कोई डिवोटी का ग्लोरिफिकेशन कर रहा होता है, एक डिवोटी दूसरे डिवोटी का, तो क्या तब भी पुण्य फिनिश हो जाते हैं?
नहीं, वो कहाँ बोला मैंने?
नहीं, मतलब मैंने शायद हमने शायद पिछले चैप्टर्स में शायद पढ़ा था.
नहीं, एक्चुअली दूसरे भक्त का गुणगान करने से भगवान खुश हो जाएंगे। दूसरे भक्त
नहीं
का
मतलब अगर वो उसको सीरियसली ले लेता है, मतलब
नहीं माता जी, ऐसी बात नहीं है। देखिए, हमारा जो आप गुणगान कर रहे हैं उसका भाव सही होना चाहिए और करने का प्रयास करना चाहिए। हम गुणगान क्यों कर रहे हैं उसका? हमें कुछ चाहिए, कुछ हमारा एजेंडा है, या हम हृदय पूर्वक कुछ हमने देखा उसके भक्ति में और हमें प्रेरणा प्राप्त हुआ तो हम उसका गुणगान करें। कैसे भी आप गुणगान करोगे तो वो अच्छा है, लेकिन गुणगान क्यों कर रहे हैं ये बहुत जरूरी है। तो आज का जो चर्चा है उसमें देखोगे आप कि वो सात्विक राजसिक तामसिक, तो praising devotees is also kirtanam actually in one sense. So but that praise of devotee is done with the intention of competing with someone else or becoming famous or getting connected to him or like that, you understand? Anything other than pure devotional desire, then it will fall in one of the categories of rajasic bhakti, tamasic bhakti or sattvic bhakti. The praise, because praise means what? Glory. So praise is one thing, glorification is loud praise. Right? So kirtanam. So the kirtanam also will fall into one of the 81 categories depending on the intention of doing it. Okay? So that is what it's not to deal with punya mataji. Means if he takes seriously, okay, means we can try to be genuine as possible. Hmm? That's the point. What he will do is not in our hand, Mataji. What we can do is in our hand. Right? So that is some research. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else has anything else to what we discussed? Or what is there in purpose report? Okay. Okay, Prabhus. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yantarashima Bhagavatam. Jai Shri
Yeah.
Krishna. Kapil Mani Jai Dev Jai. Jai. The meeting.